In this video, you're going to be figuring out what it looks like if you want to integrate your podcast in your website and kind of best practices. So quickly, what we can see once we land on Lorio's website is that there's a podcast tab, there's a podcast player. So what this means is that you're able to see exactly where the podcast is. Instead of having the name Aging in Style, it has the word podcast. So people do know if they're looking for podcast content, it's here. So two things that I love about the way this podcast has been integrated on the website is that, one, if you are not very tech savvy, you can see it immediately on the homepage and you can access the show notes through here. Now, realistically, I don't think people would find the show notes on clicking here, but I think that we all do use websites differently, so it's important to just not discard anything just because you don't use it like that. Now, podcast. What I like about these integration of Wix and podcast players is that every time you upload a new episode to your podcast player, wherever that is, it's going to show automatically here, so you don't have extra work. And then you have the description of the podcast showing up here, which is great. And then if you click on here, you have the description as well. Why is this important? So the reason why we beef up our clients' show notes is because this is content that Google is going to, let's say, air quotes, read. And so it's going to help you bump up your website. So if you're not using those integrated, then Google is not necessarily going to know that you have a podcast. And by having generous show notes, these kind of doubles as blog entries. So it's double the content done once. So that's pretty awesome because you have all the links that you want to have. People are able to play the podcast directly through here. And also you're working on that organic search engine optimization. So all the keywords that you find through here, they will help you get ranked higher. Also, another thing that is important to have is making sure that your listeners or your clients can access this kind of information. So how can they contact you? They can email you or they can call you. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what you can do.